Good morning, folks. NC4XL, North Carolina for extreme lovers and are not. Just Dom, the darling old man. I wanted to share some information for our new folks that, couple common questions. How do I add a park that's right around the corner from me? How do you do that? Can I go to any park? Well, the answer is you can go anywhere you want to operate and hunt and or play radio and have fun. But the thing is, not all parks are in a POTA entity. They don't meet the requirement. Here in a second, I'll share with you. But I wanted you to see the spotting page, or we'll call it the page. If you look over here, that has all the information. Okay. Well, at the very top of it, you see the word dock. Click on that. That's relatively new. And this, if folks, really please pay attention. This is a great place to just spend some time and click on the links and go and do a little bit of reading and then hit your back button and go to the next. We're going to go over here to where it says rules, and we're going to click on rules. And the rules, I'm not trying to say everybody's got to read all this, but there's some questions that recur all the time, and it's just trying to make it easy to have people find some of these information. All right, you see down here where it says qualifications of parks, trails, and rivers for addition to parks on the air. That's for adding that place that we like to have in our own vicinity. I'm going to highlight it and basically so that you all can read it. But what it's saying, all new parks must be owned and operated by a state, provincial, or federal national agency. We do not include parks that have part shared ownership, sponsorship, or operated by private organizations or local governments. To be considered for inclusion, the park must meet the above requirements and offer informational website detailing current boundary maps. POTA does not create sub-parks within existing parks if both parks are owned and operated by the same state, provincial, and or federal and national agency. I'm going to share a little note here. If you feel you have a park that may qualify for Parks on the Air, the first thing you do is get the name of the park. If you go to a GPS or Google Earth and you type in the name of the park and or the street that it's at, it's going to give you a location, a grid to match that. Take that information. Now, folks, this is the hard part. Take that information, send it to your mapping coordinator for your area, for land, for the state of North Carolina, for the state of Texas. You would send it to the Texas. There is a list of all the different mapping coordinators, and I'll try to share that too. But each state has somebody specifically designated to follow up our leads that we, new hunters and or new activators, feel should be an additional park. Once we've submitted it there, stop, let it go. Don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, they're the ones that do the research and add it if it meets the qualification. That is what happens when we submit it to the proper people. Getting mad on the air, posting posts on Facebook, well, this one should be. There's criteria. And we need to realize that if it doesn't meet the criteria, being next door doesn't make it a park for us. It's a place to go play radio, yes, but it doesn't fall in the guidelines until POTA has added it to the database, and we have over 11,000. If you look at the foreign countries that are now have a growing number of parks, we're at 38,000 different parks. So there's a lot of parks opportunities out there. But I wanted to share that for you, okay? And again, the reading on this page is excellent, okay? One of the things it says that all, and I'm going to try to highlight this, some people want to, well, they live right across the street from a park, literally. And or they live in the park. Well, when they live in the park, now they're on private property, their property, so they cannot claim their house as being in the park because it's private property. And again, it doesn't follow the guidelines, so that's why you can't do that. If you're in a park but you're remoting to your house is not in the park, it's a few miles away or whatever, you cannot go to the park and remote from the park to your house to operate that park. All equipment, it says the activator and all equipment must be in the park's boundary and on public property. If an activator is straddling the park or state lines, they are therefore not fully within the boundary and are out of compliance with the rule. It's simple. Simply for multi-park activations, the activator and all equipment must be entirely within the bounds of each park being claimed. So multi-park activations can only occur if the activator is physically located in the intersection where where all the claimed parks overlap. That I put here because a lot of people think that we can do things, and we're on the honor system, folks. If somebody's got to lie to say they were in a park when they're not, it will be found out very fast, and it's not by anybody being a radio cop or anything. It's basically this: you never know who's going to drive up, who's on vacation, who's right around the corner, and it'd be crazy for you to operate a park that you're not in and be met by somebody who is a POTA person by chance and found out that you got caught with your pants down. So don't do something that you're not going to be proud of, is where it goes. I wanted to share that with you because that is a common question all the time. Let me go back to had a couple things I wanted to talk about. We talked about that already. The boundaries, we talked about that already. Okay, let me go down to the other section that I wanted to talk about. It was into club calls. And this is to help out folks that are looking at activations with the group, and they wanted to, where did I put that at? I'll go back here and I'll find it again. The club calls, there's a section where hunters, activators, when they go out to, all right, it's right there. Let's see. Club calls multiple operators. In general, individuals should not use each other's call sign on the air, but instead use a club or special event call in situations with multiple operators. The club or special event call should be used over the air just like field day and be recorded in the station call sign field. The individual who made the contact should record their call sign, generally not used over the air, in the operator field. Once uploaded to the account for the holder of the station call sign, you'll be, it says to see the logging requirements in section 3. The system will count the QSOs towards the awards for both the holder of the club call sign, the station call sign, and for the holder of the operator who is signed in the operator, okay? So when you go out for a club organization and the club call is the primary call, you change the operator in the software logging program, and I can explain that if you want to send me a message if you use N3FJP on how to do that. I don't know any other logging software, but that one I do, and how you can have 5 or 6 different operators making many contacts, but if you're doing it for a club event and you just change operators in the software and then run with this operator and so forth and to the next, just make the change again because you're changing operators. The trustee then will send up one log which will cover for everybody. Otherwise, you can do it the old-fashioned way. Each individual do their own log and on paper or so forth and present it to the trustee so it can be logged. It's sometimes a pain in the butt, but it's something that we learn how to do. Here's another section that comes up when new hunters don't understand. When multiple individuals, when you, and I'm going to pick on somebody, um, when you get PZN or KN4, VKY, VKW, VKX, and JLF mom, or you get Carrie and Jason and Brian and several others all at one location. So you're going to have many operators. They're all at the same park. They're all doing their own logging. But you as a hunter get to log. Sometimes you'll hear somebody say uh, each individual call sign and you get to work them, or you'll have one activator who is going to give you all the call signs. You work 4 stations. Some people feel that you need to work each one. That is fine. It's up to, and listen to what it says, multiple individuals are activating together but not under the club call. The operators may choose to pass the mic and take turns making contacts. In these situations, each individual should maintain and submit their own log to the logging requirements section for the rules. Something else to be aware of, folks, that you may have some handicap or disabled or disability patrons of amateur radio that are out, and it may be very hard for 2 or 3 of them to do so. So they'll go out with another operator, experience the joy of the pile up and work in many stations, but they don't always have the means to make that switch back and forth with the hand mic. So one person may do it for a while and work 2 or 3 calls and then switch operators. That's Each circumstance is special, and so is amateur radio. So there you go. Enough of that. Those are the things I wanted to talk about today for the new hunters and new activators. But this section is very informative. Very informative. The code of conduct. We all know what the code of conduct is. Okay, take the time. If it's important enough for you to get on the air and enjoy some of the fun with it, take the time to see what other good information that Parks on the Air staffing have created and tried to make it easy for each and every one of us to go to. Remember, everything that is done here is based off of this word. You see that? Volunteers. Volunteers. If you want to see the mapping representatives, click on this. You can go down and see all the different mapping coordinators. All right. Here's one for the United States. There's a list that tells you and I'm going to be prejudiced about this. Let me go to my state. Mike Prevett is a very personal friend of mine. I've known him for 20 some years. But the list is here for each state so you know where to send your suggested park to. That's an important feat for somebody who's trying to add a park that's close by. The development staff, do you know who you talk to? How many of these people work hard to create the fun that we do? And I go back to the same thing. They're all volunteers. They're just like you and I. There's our list of all of the um, help desk and support. Okay. The moderators, the people that say yay or say nay, and the help desk folks. All this information is right here, and it's so simple to get to. When you go to the, I'm going to go back and then end this video. And when you go to the, let me get out of here and put it over here. Um, and I will go to POTA and we'll bring it back up, and you see at the very top. That's what I'm trying to tell you right there. That word docs. That will get you a lot of information, and it would benefit each one of us if I learn more so that I can talk more knowledgeable with other people about POTA by reading the information instead of shooting off the hip and hoping that the information I'm giving is correct, but go to the documentation. So thanks for your time. I hope there's some benefit in what you've seen here today. May God bless you. November Charlie 4 X-Ray Lima, North Carolina for extreme lovers, and I'm not 73s.